exciting is this? You're like watching me now in the comfort of my own home, which is so rare. But I thought that this was a topic that's extremely personal and close to my heart. So there's going to be lots of videos about this, and I think probably the first one is really important to just show you in my own environment. Yes, I'm going to tell you guys, calm down. But you may have seen on Instagram me talking about my gut and how I've been experiencing extreme problems with my gut, which range from bloating to complete discomfort, inability to sleep, infrequent bowel movements, and so forth. So what I did is that I decided to open up about this, and I'm going to talk to you about it today. Don't forget to subscribe and like to the channel. Okay, so where do I even begin? I think that I've had problems with my stomach since I was probably about 12 years old. And I just remember it as having a lot of sort of gas coming up through my throat, having really bloated stomach, feeling a lot of discomfort, and trying to talk to my mum about it and my parents. And they just said, oh, you know, you have to just drink more water, you have to be a little bit more healthy with your diet and so forth. But the reality was I just knew that something wasn't really right. And I think throughout my teenage years and then in university, it was just always up and down. So otherwise I go to the loo a lot or not at all. So sorry to be super open about it, but I think it's important that we have these conversations. Anyways, throughout time, I actually had a lot of medical experiences that I think ruined my gut. So for example, when I was at university, this story is going to blow your mind. I was in my vocational training year, and basically I was treating a patient. We had a prison contract at the time, so we were treating loads of clients that were in prison, and one patient came in and I acquired what's known as a needle stick injury. So the needle stick injury, basically it's where there is blood on blood contact. So what had happened was, it wasn't actually a needle. I was taking out a tooth and the instrument that I used ripped through my glove. So there was blood on blood contact, and the first thing that the patient said to me was, don't worry, I don't take drugs. And I was like, okay. And I was like a baby dentist and I didn't really know what it meant. So my nurse ran downstairs and she went to the receptionist, and the receptionist called prison, and prison were like, she is in prison for drugs. So with that in mind, they sent me to occupational health. Occupational health said this is a very high risk patient, and they said you have to go on HIV prophylaxis. So I was like, okay. But they said if the patient did a test and she was negative, then you don't need to be on the HIV prophylaxis, which is also known as PEP. But the patient refused to do a blood test. So then I had to be on 3 months of PEP. And it's really, 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 really intense. Basically, the medication completely ruins your body in a sense, because it starts attacking it. And it's just that I was throwing up all the time. I had a lot of nausea, and in the end my stomach was in bits. And I think from then I stopped really digesting food properly. I used to just get a lot of pain, a lot of wind, a lot of bloating, inability to go to the toilet too much. And I tried to really redevelop the lining in my stomach, and I went to a gastroenterologist, and they confirmed that I also had ulcers in my lining and so forth, probably from all the stress of what had happened with that patient. Anyways, they put me on something called a FODMAP diet, and the FODMAP diet was really restrictive. I have to say it did work, but it was really restrictive. So I think in hindsight, I was like, well, did it really do much? Because it was just restricting my diet. So obviously there was nothing that was triggering it. But then years later, my symptoms came back. I have been in and out of hospital with my stomach. I had several colonoscopies, and all the doctors are like, oh, okay, your stomach's fine. They've only found ulcers or like fragments here and there, but they've said to me, you know, you just need to manage your stress. I'm like, hello, I know I need to manage my stress. I literally run 2 businesses. I know I need to do. So when they're telling me, do breathing exercises, I'm like, I don't have time to breathe. I've got a patient in a chair, you know. So it's been really difficult. Anyways, I was really sick this year in, oh, sorry, rewind there. As you all know, I have a video as well on COVID. So I caught COVID in December 2020, and I actually had long COVID. So with long COVID, I was sick for about 6 months, as you all know, and my stomach again went into bits, and I was constantly getting viral infections after COVID as well. I don't know what it was, but my immune system was really, really down. And every time I get the viral infections, my gut would get triggered to just get even worse, and the symptoms would get 10 times worse. So I did this post about me being in hospital, and I saw a doctor friend, Dr. Vincent Wong, who actually saw, and he said, hey, I know someone that can help you. And I'd met this person that he recommended a few times, and his name is Dr. Sunny Patel. He is absolutely amazing, and he reached out to me, and I had told him that the gastroenterologist has basically said they can't do anything. He did a 1 hour and a half in-depth consultation to find out what my symptoms were. He made me fill out lots of forms, so like a food diary, like talking about my goals, understanding my movement, mindfulness. He talks about like his pillars of health. And for the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't being gaslighted, because essentially I felt that someone was listening to my symptoms rather than telling me that basically I needed to do X, Y, and Z, and really understanding the reality of my symptoms. Also, when we delve deeper into my history, I think this is something that I don't really talk about openly, but in my 20s at university, I was very restrictive with my diet. At the time, I got asked to do a lot of modeling, and I was encouraged by my peers to become skinnier, so I became very restrictive and over exercise. So we talked about the psychological implications of that, you know, having recovered from that and what it can do to you and how you can mess up your digestion and so forth. So anyways, Dr. Sunny and I have been working together now for a few weeks, and I am on a program which is completely paid for, and the program involves him delivering food to me. So he gets the food made, we talk about my macros and my needs, and the food basically is designed to help me build up my gut lining again. And I have to say that 1 week in, I have never felt more satiated and happy, and my gut feels a lot more relaxed. The symptoms haven't completely gone, but knowing that I'm eating foods that aren't triggering as much has been amazing. He's also put me on probiotics like Simprov and Aflorex. I think I'm saying that right, but I'm going to show you guys around later and show you my fridge as well. And we also have every 2 weeks touch point sessions where we speak on the phone to discuss what I've been doing, how I've been feeling, you know, what's going on and so forth. And I also WhatsApp him regularly to tell him how everything is. On top of that, I've been offered hypnotherapy sessions to discuss also like the psychological implications it's been having on my life, the history of what's happened and so forth. So I'm really excited for that, and I'm definitely going to keep you guys in the loop about the whole journey. But I think this is the first time ever a medical professional has not made me feel like I'm going completely mad, because he totally empathizes and, you know, understands that my symptoms are really real. It's been quite difficult giving up things like I'm allowed my decaf coffee once a day, once, twice a day, but I haven't been allowed Diet Coke, I haven't been allowed chewing gum, like things like that I'm used to having all the time. So it's been quite an interesting journey, like seeing like how much I rely on these things to just, you know, keep me going. I don't drink alcohol, so that's all right. So that was an easy thing to do. But come with me, we'll have a look at some of the stuff that I'm on already, the types of food that he's been giving me as well. So follow me into the house. So now we're going to have a look at some of the things that I've been doing for my gut. Excuse the kitchen, it's a complete mess, but here are some of the things. So Dr. Sunny actually has put me on a few things. One of them being glutamine, which I have 3 times a day. It doesn't taste amazing, but it's going to help the lining of my gut and build things up. That's number one. Other thing is Simprov. So I'm having the Simprov every single morning as well to help with my gut microbiome. Dirty is my favorite. This is the cacao, but I actually have the coffee one in the morning with some coconut milk and some chia seeds as well in there, again to help. And I've been instructed to eat 2 kiwis with the skin. It doesn't taste hairy, if you're wondering. I actually quite like it. But there's certain things that I can and can't eat until everything's been built up. And I think I'm on an 8 or 12 week program. I need to double check that. I'm going to show you some of the meals that Dr. Sunny provides. If you follow me to my fridge, so I'm getting the meals which are amazing and super nutritious. So like, for example, if you have a look here, this has got, you know, I'm a massive protein person. We've got mackerel and lots of veggies here, which is super, super delicious. So I'm having that, and I know now that I'm not going to be like snacking on like crackers and chocolates, which I tend to do at work. So I get my meals delivered. Here's another one as well. He delivers them on Mondays and Wednesdays. And yeah, and I'm basically getting the full support. I'm sort of a week and a half into it, and I have never felt better. So I can't wait for you guys to share this journey with me. Gut mind, body and soul are so linked. You know, they always say that the gut is actually your second brain, and I really do feel that. And I've been a really like mindless eater, a very emotional eater, restrictive emotional binge. You know, I've done it all. So I'm really excited to finally make massive lifelong changes with the help of this amazing professional. Definitely go check him out. But yeah, I want to hear your stories too, so don't forget to drop a comment and let me know, and I'll see you next time.